I'll come back.
I just gulped down a quesadilla and some tater tots.
Oh wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'd mostly chewed it.
Concerned.
It's normal and fine. This seems like the most pressing question, huh?
I see what you did there.
Wait, no, that was on purpose.
Sorry, just give me one moment.
Lila, you have deep dish za? Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna press everything. That's what we'll do first.
Oh,
what are you doing?
Sorry, I accidentally clicked away from the stream.
You killed the stream.
So you do admit that you had murderous intentions toward Miss Brett, then?
The white woman's very existence offended my sense of justice.
Your sense of... He's claiming some sort of righteous indignation.
She was pure evil. A cold-blooded killer who would commit murder right here on our empire's soil.
You're not wrong.
But did our good-for-nothing government do anything? Not a chance. So I had to step in. Fly the flag of justice. Put things right for the people. Yes, it was my civic duty. That's what drove me to do it.
Cool motive, dude. Murder's still murder.
So in summary, murderous intentions, then.
Whatever you want to call it. The point is this. That white woman was a blight woman. So I had to do what was right.
So I had to do what was right, woman. Yet a real wrong was done by the student girl in the dock, a crime for which she must pay.
Obviously, because the poison had nothing to do with me at all.
Okay.
Do you still maintain that you didn't give the poison to the victim?
Obviously. That'd be like putting a belt on your trousers when you were already wearing braces like these.
The accused administered the poison, following which this witness stabbed the victim. An unforgivable act, certainly, but not one of murder. That crime rests on the accused's shoulders. That is how the law works, you see, yokel. Who knows, you may even learn something here today. What?
Ugh.
I'm learning a lot.
I learned.
2 consecutive attempts on her life in the space of minutes. Quite a day for the victim.
What a big day.
Don't be such a cunt, then.
Do something that evil, and you've got it coming. That's how the law works. Law of reckoning.
I don't think that's a law.
Yeah, okay. That's not the kind of law this court upholds.
You will reiterate why you were compelled to stab the victim, then, witness.
Wait. I got your goat, huh?
What exactly were they arguing about?
About what happened in that restaurant 9 months ago, that's what.
That's not true.
The student girl was laying into the white woman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson. Yes, John H. Wilson.
You killed him!
A professor of medicine invited here from England by Professor Mikotoba, no less. Right, but the white woman just jeered.
Her case was to be heard by the British Consular Court in Shanghai. However, there is little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman.
It was eating that student girl up inside, you could see it. Oh, I really felt for her.
That's why I'm gonna frame her for murder.
Yeah, no shit.
She's here.
I can't.
I just can't.
I can't stand here and listen to this tripe.
Ray.
You just said tripe. Young girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whenever you feel like it.
No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen.
Fuck off! But this awful man is making all of this up. Susato, please, you have to make them listen.
Return to the dock at once, Membami-san. We are in the middle of a cross-examination.
Sit down, female. Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy
He
witness.
stabbed a woman.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, great peeping Tom. Dirty great peeping Tom.
Wow, take it easy there.
Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say.
Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks.
I will grant the request of the defense.
But Your Excellency!
This is likely to be the final cross.
You said that about the last one!
I love when they do that. It's like, is it really?
Is it really?
As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. So, whilst recognizing that this contravenes regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak.
Oh, he's just setting precedent today. Cool. Oh. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Bonks her head on the
Yeah,
floor.
I thought she did it again. It was nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison. Okay. So this is just like, okay. Appended on.
The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean?
The poison for the victim, the poison that killed her.
Yeah. I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison.
But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government.
Indeed. All visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult, unless they smuggled it in their butt.
That's true. I pestered Professor Mikotoba until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited his laboratory.
She had to see the poison.
He had to
I love
see it.
poison. I'm a poison enthusiast. What can I
Great.
say?
Great.
Poison, man. I love my cyanides.
Love my gas fumes.
I love my mustard gas. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail.
You have a tail?
Yeah, he's a cat boy.
Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we've been developing, you see. And since Soseki-san expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Alexis Sato mirroring her father's, like, motions here.
It's very cute. The
Yeah.
fact that in this game
the same
characters
as,
can interact when they're not being focused on is
Yeah,
so good.
it's really
Same
cute.
as Ryunosuke.
Yeah, Rinosuke imitating Kazuma.
Yeah.
He does this pose too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Obviously, I gave nothing away, other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance.
I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with deadly poison. I wanted to look my old enemy in the eyes. Surely you can understand that.
Your old enemy, poison.
Poison has eyes.
So that's referencing something that you don't know about yet.
No. Wait, what?
They keep alluding to a case that you haven't seen. It's like in the first game, there was case 4, where Soseki was accused of stabbing the woman on the street. And John Garrida was his landlord who was involved in that case.
Yeah.
And then in the case after that, he was the foreman of the jury, and he mentioned how Ryunosuke worked on a case that landed his wife in jail, and then that case of the haunting as well. And they just kind of brush it off and they don't mention it. But in this case, he is also alluded to things you haven't seen
What
yet.
the fuck? Which I guess makes sense, because Susato's been in Japan. So,
yeah,
that makes sense. To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it. The whole government, even. It would be a complete disaster. An international incident. Cats living with dogs.
And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns?
She just curled those beautiful lips of her. Okay.
Oh, she's so good. She's so good.
Hey, she's so gay. She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually.
Oh, yes. Many Memo-san. One small question, if you don't mind.
I do mind. Can't you see I'm busy?
Making a flip book.
Clearly, you were outside the beach hut listening in whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably, then, it was you who wrote this article about what you'd heard?
Yep.
Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published in this morning's edition of Shoyu News.
Oh no, the last slug reaction broke.
Yeah. I didn't move that one. I'm gonna have to fix that one. Most of the other ones work, though.
Sad. 2,000 cat coins
Oh,
down
no.
the drain.
Well, I'll redeem something else, then. What can I
The Mizuki
redeem?
pad.
Yeah, you're right.
I like the Mizuki.
Because
pad.
that is also worth more. There we go.
Sorry, I'm just waiting for the pad to play
Oh,
Thanks, Jazz.
I can't hear
it.
it. Can you
No,
hear
it's on the stream.
Yeah.
It's the video of Mizuki from Somnium Files giving the thumbs up.
it? Oh,
Yeah. Favorite video.
It's great. Sorry, don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, look at this. The entire article is almost what I said to Miss Brett, word for word.
well, Many Mimo-san.
As a journo, and as a citizen of a free country.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I don't have to reveal my sources. That's a founding principle of many memories.
Yeah, dude,
Yes, sort of
okay.
Father's clearly right about this. The reporter did write that article, and he based it on what he overheard from outside the hut.
So that's what it was all about. You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her.
Shut up. My stories never stink. Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I want it to go on record.
Okay.
Very well. You may amend your formal testimony.
He's winded. He's fucking pissed off.
Perhaps you doubted the efficiency of the poison and sought to make sure your victim would die.
That's all shit.
What?
What?
That would be like pouring pepper in your Chinese ramen before you've even tasted it. Completely reckless.
Wait, what?
They have dried ramen and cup noodle.
Although, it might surprise you to learn that I'm a bit of an impetuous pepper pourer as it happens.
Okay, man, I don't fucking care.
Once the victim had taken the poison, she would have only been minutes away from death. And yet this man then proceeds to stab her in the back as well. He hates that bitch.
He does.
There has to have been a good reason for that.
If it was the reporter who gave the poison to Miss Brett, then clearly he must have done it prior to Ray entering the hut.
Yes, that's undeniable.
But between him leaving the hut and the victim being stabbed, there was one very crucial change in the situation.
Sorry? What change?
The reporter overheard the conversation between Ray and the white woman.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's when Many Mimo-san first found out the exact nature of the poison he'd used. That could be the key here.
Oh.
If the victim had unwittingly taken the poison already, the reporter would have had no reason to stab her.
Oh, wait, this is just the...
Yeah.
yeah.
In between.
End of cross-examination dialogues. Okay, how does the poison work? I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, no, I am gonna do that. Where's the one poison article? Either via the, well, it would still work then. Because if she had drank it, she would still die. Impaired breathing. Okay. I mean, he literally could have just thought it wasn't working. I haven't looked at this yet.
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know.
It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be of little help here, I'm afraid.
Couldn't you just have written medicine on Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it.
German is the international language of medicine, my dear. But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate.
It's medicine. It makes your tummy feel better.
It fixes you right up.
Well, that's nothing. This is nothing. Can I look at the knife?
Ah, yes. This must be the victim's blood.
Oh dear. Blood is never a pretty sight, is it? I'm having to fight the urge to
What?
run under a hot tap and get it clean.
Y'all can't help but destroy evidence.
You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you?
I think this is something else, Father.
Blood's yucky. Icky pooey. Okay.
I do not want to see blood. Get it out.
Get it out of here. Okay, not the knife. Let's look at the thing. Wait. Oh, it just updated this. I see. So what specific statement do I have to prove? Oh, god damn it. Okay, so the press, I have to present something.
It's usually the last. Yeah, it's usually the last. Like the new, whatever a new statement's out. That's usually what you have to interact with in some way.
The point is, if you'd poison someone, there'd be no reason to then go and stab the person as well. We can just.
Are you present the news article?
Yeah, the news article. That seems to have worked.
Well, I can think of one reason.
What?
But before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information for this newspaper article from what you overheard outside the hut?
Of course he did. There can be no question of that. After all, when we were all in the laboratory together, all we were told was that it was a terrible toxin.
And there is one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Membami-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have been impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink.
Oh, true. Where are you going with this, counsel?
Memo-san has made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it.
That's a great point.
Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Membami-san entered the hut.
Yes, very articulately put.
When I walked into the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison.
At which point, Memo-san overheard some worrying information.
Worrying information? What worrying information?
The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in strict secrecy, and that it couldn't be readily obtained. Well, it's not a secret anymore, is it?
Absolutely. In fact, that's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could come from is my lab.
And furthermore, anyone inflicted by this poison would exhibit telltale signs in death.
The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable.
In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by the use of this particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects to only a handful of people.
Ugh.
Everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we've been developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed. Mambami-san being no exception.
Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered the unique poison to the victim was a layperson unaware of its telltale properties.
He's got a shit.
In other words, someone like you writing many memo.
Get
Yeah.
fucked!
Yoda death. It was you who stole the poison from the laboratory that day. And it was you who administered it to the unwitting victim.
Get fucked.
You quickly realized that was a terrible mistake.
Because the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so traceable.
Ugh. As you listened in from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learned of these facts. But you'd already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involved stabbing the victim in the back through the read screen.
But what good could that possibly do?
Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect.
Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction. But he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he?
Exactly. Because without any revealing signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would ever have suspected.
This is extraordinary.
Yes, the effects of the poison meant it would be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask its use. Which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back.
He's gotta poop!
Order, order, order. The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have a counter-argument it wishes to put forward?
There are a number of, yes, I counter completely. How?
He's trying to keep his job. The rent is due. The prosecution's evasive response clearly shows.
Well, the wolves were at old Ouchie's door.
That in much the same way as he nurtures the remnants of his top knot, he is clinging to lost hope. You don't have to
Damn!
comfort him like
Get wrecked!
Uh-oh.
Oh! His hat!
Oh, Ongi.
Ah, you pathetic, useless, fallen samurai.
Fallen? Who are you calling fallen? My burgeoning growth is on the rise!
I don't need a counter-argument.
What are you talking about?
It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say. Gave it to the victim, you say. Stabbed her, you say. Lots of fine theories. Well, I don't need a counter-argument, because you don't have an argument yourself. Where's the evidence?
Where's the evidence?
And the judge is like, oh, that's true, that's true.
That's true, there's no evidence.
Yeah, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? Without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I I base my news in facts. Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself. What are these facts?
What are those?
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Oh, I mean, what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all in here, in my many memos.
Right.
Every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted.
Wow, they really just made the pun in his name really obvious there, huh?
I mean, it was already.
Yeah,
really
you're
obvious.
right.
That's what the Show You News is famous for. It's the power of the printed word.
What is this? Yeah, that's true. Wait. Bro, we already talked about you being there.
And it was that then. Blown the story wide open. Say, I, Roy 10 Mini Memo, a mere reporter from the Show You News, couldn't possibly have stolen that poison from the professor's laboratory.
It's not true.
Ugh. There can't be any question of it. He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used it to kill. And if that's the case, as you've identified, the poison itself is the definitive evidence we need. Sometimes words don't work.
No, they're hard.
Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit here.
What's your point, you annoyingly handsome country bumpkin?
Alright, bro, calm down.
Gay and a pedophile.
In his defense, I can't believe I'm saying this. Everyone thinks that he's a college student.
That's true.
No, it was too
But he was also
Yeah.
like, yeah,
That was pretty fucked up.
being
yeah.
weird to
Really
Ray.
weird. Weird. Very weird.
Very
My
weird.
point is this.
Like Michael Jackson, he's a homosexual pedophile.
God.
There's one
Woo!
way that there is one way that you, Many Memo-san, could have stolen the poison that day.
I
Sorry.
I've heard enough verbal conjecture now, thank you. What the court must be shown is evidence.
Show me the truth.
What proof do you have that this witness stole the poison on the day in question?
That.
Yeah.
So then we can use this with that. Because this is how he stole it. He stole it with the fountain pen.
Yeah.
The proof, Your Excellency, is this fountain pen.
A fountain pen. How can that possibly be relevant?
These magical pens.
So stupid.
These-
That's so fucking
No.
stupid.
She's never seen a pen like that.
No, I
These
never.
magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now. So why is it like magic to you?
Yeah, that's true. Like, that should be old hat at this point. Also, you went to England. Those should be everywhere.
Old hat.
Bah! I swear by a weasel hair calligraphy brush and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad. Right.
Well, as a forward-thinking man of words, obviously I love my fountain pen. Suck up a soupçon of sumptuous ink, and one's work is awash with words in the blink of an eye.
Sumptuous ink.
Sumptuous ink.
That's right.
That's right, Jay.
That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in their barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later.
What does all this talking of sucking up ink have? Ah!
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 And just as it's possible to suck ink up into the reservoir, it's also possible to inject it through the nib again, of course.
My word, can this really be?
This man is just learning.
No way.
He's learning how a pen works for the first time ever, and he's like, "Holy shit, cool!
It sucks it up through the nib.
That's
I didn't know
awesome!"
that. Well, Many Memo-san,
Uh, um,
When you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison up through the nib and into the pen's reservoir.
Yeah.
There's no way she didn't drink at least a little bit of pen ink.
More absurdity! That never happened! Are you sure?
True, we've heard that there were procedures in place to prevent thefts like this from the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places?
No, I'm a little ashamed to say. That for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been conducted. My bad.
Well, this is quite startling, I must say.
I remind the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Memo-san.
Correct.
So the crucial question is, when exactly was the pen dropped?
Are you suggesting?
The natural conclusion is that in your haste to act whilst the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pen after you emptied the poison from it into her glass.
There could be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim. And when shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand.
No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen was devoid of ink?
What?
As you can see for yourself, if you examine the evidence,
You
well,
you
if you
idiot.
use your fucking eyes,
Yeah, look at it with your eyes, stupid.
there would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone with nothing in his pen? No, the pen was dropped after the poison that filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass.
He's so wet.
Witness, what do you have to say in your defense?
Hit desk.
Oh,
So this is how our modern justice system works,
hey,
is it?
hey, bro, you shouldn't be laughing like this in a courtroom.
This isn't helping to exonerate you.
So what if the ink in my pen runs dry? So what if my pencil snips?
My penis
Oh!
slips.
He's Wolverine!
Wolverine!
I can always claw my way back into the game. Oh, you have plenty in reserve.
Ah!
Okay.
He's killing the judge!
Oh, I'm so glad Hosonaga saved.
Yeah, he would get struck on the forehead and it would trigger his tuberculosis.
He'd die
He'd cough himself
immediately.
to death. You claim I sucked the poison into my pen? That's wild speculation, nothing more. If you thought you could bring down a fine, upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think
A
again.
fine, upstanding, handsome, humble citizen.
That is a really good journalist.
And his dick is huge. It looks as though it's going to take one final decisive blow to finish this matter.
As I see it, the situation is now very simple. It rests upon whether or not the witness did indeed steal the poison the day in question. And therefore, it all depends on whether or not the defense can prove that he did it with evidence. Heh. No such evidence could possibly exist.
Well, about that.
Memo-san, this is how our modern justice system works.
What?
In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember. Because we are all well past the point of speculation at this stage,
Get
I assure
fucked!
you.
You're
Coming for
done!
your ass.
You're finished! It's over!
Very well then, I call upon the defense to present the aforementioned evidence.
This is it then. This will be the final piece in the puzzle. The defense can prove by means of this item that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison.
What?
Oh, so what is that called?
Thank you for reading. Hello. How's it going, everybody?
What the fuck is their poison tester?
They're poison.
Wait, what are these?
This,
Oh, yeah.
Because it's in German, right?
Yeah, right.
this bottle contains the unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question.
Ah!
Yes, that poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method.
Or, from another perspective, simply with this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of the poison.
It's what we like to call forensic science.
Reagent. What?
He doesn't even know what that is. Stupid.
Idiot.
1 drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Many-Memo-san.
Uh-huh.
On the tip of your itty-bitty fountain pen. Is all it will take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt.
No,
Stupid.
you can't. I won't.
It's gonna throw him like shuriken. Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat.
Your Excellency. The defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once.
Yeah.
What the?
No.
Bro, what?
This isn't my fault. The Empire drove me to this, trying to hold its head high as a civilized nation by
Whoa.
bowing to every foreign power to command of
Oh
finale.
my God.
Holy shit, man! Calm down! Get fucked!
Yes,
Susato, with me!
I'm there.
Get fucked!
Get his ass.
Destroyed. Did I do it right? That was a Susato takedown, wasn't it?
Not quite. That was a Ryotaro.
Hell yeah!
They're so badass.
They're the best.
The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present.
He's so
Oh,
bummed.
he's so sad. I'm sure.
Poor little meow meow.
When I saw it there in the lab, the poison, the devil got a hold of me.
It was the devil!
I decided to do it on a whim. I excused myself and emptied all of the ink down the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully.
And then you waited for an opportunity to suck up some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen.
Yeah, that's right.
Answer me one thing, Many-Memo-san. Why did you steal it? For what purpose?
For what purpose?
Isn't it
Why?
obvious? To find out what it was made of and expose it in an article. Oh, I mean, it was a secret project after all. Too juicy for a journo like me to pass up.
Then why did the white woman end up dead? They do that.